AITA for dressing nicer than the couple getting married? A few months ago, my brother and now Sil announced their intention to marry. The invitation to the wedding stated no dress code. Wear whatever is comfortable for you. In hindsight, I think they put that there since the event was at a lake. I didn't think much of the disclaimer at the time because it's a wedding. I should dress respectably for such an occasion. And I have a healthy selection of formal wear in my wardrobe. I chose a beautiful blue 3-piece suit. Yesterday was the wedding. When I showed up, I noticed everyone was dressed way more casually than I was. I'm talking polos. Many people wearing shorts. Only a few people wearing slacks and button down. I did feel a little out of place. My brother was wearing a suit with no tie. And my Sil was wearing a modest white dress. The only comment I got on my attire during the event was a joke from my dad saying I looked like I'm marrying the Sil. But that was it. A few hours ago, I got a call from Sil. Holy shit. She is pissed at me. She was asking why I dressed like a pimp. I upstaged her and my brother. And I stuck out like a sore thumb on the photos. I referenced the invite. And how she said there was literally no dress code. And I was dressing respectfully. She was going on about how that implicitly meant not formal. I told her that she should specified not formal to leave less interpretation freedom. She asked if I was that retarded. I told her that just because she's family doesn't give her the right to blame a miscommunication on me and call me a retard. I hung up. She spammed my phone with calls. So I blocked her and texted my brother I'll talk to her when she's ready to be less verbally abusive. Was I in the wrong? Edit. Clarified she said I stuck out on the photos. Edit 2. My brother said I'm welcome to come over for dinner later. I unblocked her number. No call spam. So that's a good sign. Edit 3. Had dinner with my brother and Sil earlier. She showed me the pictures. And I can kind of see what she was talking about. I told her I'm sorry for being unaware. And that being unaware was still shitty of me because I did notice I was out of place and I should have tried to do something. She said she was sorry for yelling at me earlier. She's still annoyed about it. But said it would be silly to keep this over my head. So yeah. I don't think we are gonna be on Jerry Springer as far as I can tell. A few hours ago, I got a call from Sil. Holy shit. She is pissed at me. She was asking why I dressed like a pimp. I upstaged her and my brother. And I stuck out like a sore thumb. WTF. NTA. It's their own fault. They are the ones who said no dress code. Mostly NTA though it's pretty oblivious for Op to not take off his tie and vest though. Of course. If his Sil was that pissed about it, she cold just said or had her husband say that at the time. Obviously. Sil is an asshole for how she reacted though. NTA. Suits are pretty common for weddings. She should have clarified. I think there is something seriously missing from this story. How does everyone read that invite and know to dress casually except Op? How could Op be so out of the loop about his own brother's wedding? There is definitely something fishy here, and Op is leaving out details like how the brother and Sil might have told him it was casual, and he chose to ignore their advice because the invitation said no dress code. Just doesn't add up otherwise. NTA. Wow. Your Sil's an asshole. You misfired a tad on the attire. No dress code definitely implies more casual, but that's a simple, unimportant mistake and absolutely not worth berating you over. I don't think the fact he misinterpreted information that every single other guest could understand makes him an asshole. It was an innocent mistake. But the fact he blatantly saw he was out dressing every single person there by miles including the bride and groom and didn't even consider taking off the jacket or waistcoat and put it in the car or cloakroom. That's what makes him an asshole. Kinda ritter. But that's still hysterical. And I 100% approve. Super casual. Be comfy. Shows up in a tux. We said be comfortable adjusts monocle. I say NTA but it indeed is hysterical edit. Oh lord I just saw his username and I doubled over again. Esh. All these people saying NTA are focusing on your new sales behavior and ignoring the reality that you did. In fact, mess up. Her behavior is way out of line and overdramatic. This is true. But everyone knows it is bad form to outdress the bride and groom. If you felt the invitation was ambiguous, then you could have quickly cleared that up with a simple text to your brother. You definitely erred here. Therefore, how was he supposed to know that the bride and groom were not going to dress formally for their own wedding? In hindsight, you should have put your coat/tie/vest back in the car once you saw how everyone else was dressed. It was out of line for her to react so poorly to you. And she kind of deserved it for not emphasizing casual dress code. Fair enough. Info. Did you know the wedding was happening at a lake? Also, why didn't you ask your brother what he was wearing? I remember going to a friend's birthday party and I sent my friend a pic of what I was wearing, which was pretty nice. I wanted to make sure they didn't feel upstaged at their party. I can understand her irritation. To a point. Even still, I think the suit was fine. It should be your brother that should have been irritated. Now if you were a woman in a decorated dress, I would have said you were the asshole. But suits, I feel, can be dressed up or dressed down. Yeah. The location was on the invite. I never bothered to ask him what he was wearing. I just wanted to dress respectfully since it was an important family event. Yes. Her saying wear what is comfortable is ambiguous. Personally, I always overdress because genuinely feel more comfortable in a really nice dress and cardigan than baggy sweatpants and a hoodie, unless I'm going full slob mode on my couch. However, was it so ambiguous that every single person excluding you understood its implication? Did you not consider asking your brother what his suit was like, or the rest of the wedding party? Not that this makes you an asshole. Just a little socially ignorant, I guess. You aren't an asshole for mistakenly wearing a full suit. But when you see the groom not wearing a tie, a normal person casually takes off their coat and waistcoat and pop them in the cloakroom or on the back of your chair. You don't stay in your three-piece suit. You instantly dial it down once you've realized your mistake. That's what makes you an asshole. You clearly saw you were outdressing the bride and groom. Obviously. She's obviously an asshole for how she spoke to you. But I don't blame her for being annoyed. Yes. She could have been more clear. But you shouldn't have been so oblivious to the tie-free groom and polo-shorted guests around you. Especially for men's attire. It is easy to adjust when overdressed for an event. Take cues and adjust appropriately. Info. When you got to the lake and saw what everyone else was wearing, was it an option for you to quickly leave and change? Did you ask prior to the wedding date for any clarification from them about the dress code? Or ask what they were planning on wearing? TBH, I'm leaning toward it, because I find it odd that someone who has a healthy selection of formal wear wouldn't know that no dress code. Wear what's comfortable means business casual. Sillas are given for her reaction. But come on. Dude. I always feel like it's better to be overdressed than underdressed. But part of that is because it's easier to adjust down when you get there and see how everyone is dressed. Particularly the bride and groom. You take off the suit, tie and vest, and go with slacks and an unbuttoned shirt. Pretty easy decision. Sillas are given for her reaction. Really? What if Op's beautiful blue suit was velvet and he was wearing a large matching hat with a peacock feather in it? We don't know if Op, in fact, showed up looking like a pimp. It's quite possible that the suit, beautiful as it is to Op, might have not only been out of place, been incredibly flashy. That would piss off almost any reasonable person under the circumstances. Kind of. I think wearing a three-piece suit to a wedding is playing with fire a little, especially with more men choosing suits over tuxes for weddings. The no dress code generally means a more informal attire by default, which would make a three-piece suit stand out even more. Yeah. I don't get why anyone is buying that. Op was completely clueless to that. It's common knowledge. She was going on about how that implicitly meant not formal. She's absolutely right here. You have to be pretty dense to not catch this. Especially with it being an outdoor summer wedding. No dress code means don't dress up, because we don't want Nana to get heat stroke. But don't look like you just rolled out of bed and into a pile of last week's laundry. I get it if this was your first ever event. But the outfit you described for yourself makes me think you're fairly experienced going to events like this. The fact that apparently every other guest was able to figure it out, but you were not. That's saying something about you. She's reacting like an asshole. But dude, no one is as stupid as you're describing yourself to be. Your motives are clearly not what makes you an asshole. But dude, you're an ass the same way someone would be an ass if they were trying to move a couch through your kitchen and spilled your cereal. They didn't do anything wrong. But what the fuck are they thinking moving a couch through your kitchen while you're trying to eat cereal in there? Exactly. There's no way you would interpret "be comfortable" to mean a three-piece suit. This is obvious by the fact that everyone else understood that. It seems like for some reason opted want to stand out / outshine others there, which is weird behavior for your brother's wedding. Info: are you upset that they feel upstaged? I ask. Because if you're upset about the situation, then you're not the asshole. It's okay to simply say, "I'm sorry. I obviously did not understand what you wanted, and I didn't want to ruin your wedding by being underdressed. I hope you'll forgive me." If you're not upset about it, and you're clinging to they said no dress code, wear what you want as a justification, then yeah, you're the asshole. It is not okay to blame them for your faux pas, as others have said. You cold dressed down some when you observed the casual dress of most. That said, you absolutely do not have to tolerate being screamed at, and shouldn't attempt any verbal communication until all parties are calm. You might buy a nice card, add your apology, and throw in a gift card for a lunch date. After that, move on and let it go. Honestly, I don't understand people that make a stink over things they can't control. The preacher called me Nancy, not my name. Not even close. During my wedding vows. And my husband and I stelped foo when we think about it. I sign our anniversary cards Nancy. It's all in what you make the situation. She needs to let it go. Let it go. Good luck. I hope y'all can make peace. She was asking why I dressed like a pimp. Info: what exactly did this suit look like? Because I'm picturing like purple satin with a zebra striped cap and a cane. Let's just assume he looked like a pimp named Slickback. Info: people can be biased sometimes. So if you're calling it a beautiful three-piece suit and she's saying you looked like a pimp, the only way I can pass judgment is if you show us a picture of the suit. I'm picturing Napoleon Dynamite's prom suit lol. Info: how exactly did every single other person at the wedding understand the dress code? But you didn't? Feel like there is something missing? She was asking why I dressed like a pimp. Lolop need to post a photo of this suit. If you enjoyed this video then hit the like button and subscribe if you'd like to see more future videos.